Hello, my name is Christopher Dunsford, and I will be presenting the second session of eDOCS DM Sync and Save. I'm the support manager here at OpenText eDOCS, and as I stated, this is the second video, so if you haven't seen the first video, I recommend that you go to our YouTube site and look for eDOCS DM Sync and Save Part 1. This will be Part 2, which is a continuation of that video. So in this video we're going to go over a few more items with Sync and Save. We will go over the Manage Files view. Before we do that, I do want to show you one thing that I didn't show in the last video. In the last video we covered how to add monitored folders to DM Sync, and one of the ways is through the UI, which I happen to like that way. The reason why I like going through the UI is because you actually get the progress bar indicators, letting you know how long that synchronization process is going to take. When you right click on a folder, you don't really get that. I'll show you what I mean. So here we're going to go to, we'll sync Taylor. And again, we're going through the UI and doing this so that we can get our progress bar indicator. So you see you get your notifications, and you also get the each file indicator up here at the top. That's the top progress bar, and the overall progress of the synchronization process is the second progress bar. And there you have it. Our Taylor folder has been synchronized. Now alternatively, I can go to a folder and I can right click on it and I can click Add Folder to eDOCS DM Sync. So we'll just go with the defaults here. Now an interesting thing happens. You see I don't get the progress, but you see that our buttons do dim, so you can't select those while the synchronization is occurring. So those are the two different ways that you can get information into DM Sync and get these items synced for you. So another thing that we can do is we can actually sync mapped drives. So if I come over here and I go, you can see that I've already mapped a drive to my home share. So I'll click that one, click OK. And since this is a mapped drive, it didn't really have a name, so I'll give it a name. Again, this folder won't show up in DM. We can change that, and we will whenever we get to the settings part of the video. So we'll just call this my network share. So there you can see that we actually have the Z drive mapped. So let's go ahead and go here. You can see that there's one document in that folder, and it went ahead and got synced. Let's go over here. There's another thing I want to show you. This image is my Windows 7 image, and it actually does not have DM installed. It doesn't have DM Sync and Save installed, but I do have a shortcut that goes out to the synced folder that we just added in my home share. So now what I would like to do is add a document to the share. Even though I don't have DM installed on this workstation, that share is being monitored by my other workstation, the Windows 10 workstation, that does have DM Sync installed. So any changes I make into that folder should be automatically synchronized up to DM. And I will show you that. And we'll go down and pick our mapped drive. We'll call this another test with network share. Alright, let's go ahead and close out of that. You can see that there's actually 3 files in here. There's the first one here that got synchronized. We have desktop.ini, which is automatically added to any synchronized folders. And then we have another test with network share. So let's go over to our Windows 10 image and we will refresh, and you can see that the another test got synchronized and it's 1378, and the time that went in is actually today. So let's see, let's go into DM and I will show you that that folder is actually, that file is actually in there. So this is 1378. And there it is. Alright, so that's network shares. That's how you can monitor network shares and have machines that don't have eDOCS DM installed on it to be able to contribute content into the DM system. Another important aspect of working with files or with folders and with machines that don't have DM installed is if you do have DM installed on one machine and that machine also has Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, those cloud folders you can actually monitor, and then when you're working on your device that has those documents, when you edit those on your device and it synchronizes to the cloud, those changes will then be synchronized to DM as well. So that's one of the fringe benefits of monitoring cloud folders. Okay, so that's network share. Next we will get into the managed files view. Alright, so let's go to our PowerPoint so I don't get off track here. So the managed files view, as I covered before, you have your connection indicator, right? So this is the little green light here, and that will tell you if DM is available or DM is not available. For example, let's go ahead and show you that now. So here we go. We have a green light. We are good to go. Now what happens if my connection goes down? Imagine, if you will, that DM Sync is installed on a laptop and I'm an attorney or paralegal, and I'm roaming between floors. I'm in and out of my wireless connections, and I have these documents that are being monitored. So now if I come down and I'm just going to disconnect the actual VM setting here, so we'll disconnect, and you'll see immediately that DM Sync got notified. You see that I get an alert that says synchronization is suspended. I get a little red button or red image here indicating that I don't have a connection to DM. So if I try to sync, it'll tell you again that I can't really sync. I can go into this document and I can actually open it if this was on a local share. Let's go to Taylor here and I will open this document. This is 1359 and I will say testing and let's click save. So you can see everything worked fine. I'm able to save these local copies. Whenever I connect again to my network, these changes will be synchronized into DM. So everything's fine, and then now imagine, if you will, I walk back into network coverage. So we'll connect here, and it takes a few seconds for the connection to occur, but once it does, you'll see that I get a synchronization notification here, and you can see that that DM Sync automatically synchronized my changes up to DM. So let's refresh, and you can see that the date changes for the edit date, and it's 8:35 a.m. So we'll open this. This is 1359. Testing is what we added. Let's go take a look in DM and see what's there. And you can see that these are the same edits. So that's the connection indicator. Location dropdown. As you saw, location dropdown is exactly what it is. This will switch between your different monitored folders so you can get a view of just that folder. Status messages. So any statuses for the document will be indicated here. For example, if you remember in the previous video, we covered the DM version newer. So if you have a monitored file and another user or even yourself goes in and edits that document in DM, then you'll see DM reflect that in the DM Sync Manager. So you'll see DM version newer and who actually modified that document. If you're trying to synchronize up to a document in DM that's locked by yourself or another user, you'll also get that indicator here. So let's go to a different folder. Let's go to Taylor. And for here, I'm going to open it. And I will edit outside a monitored folder. We'll go ahead and click Save. You'll see uploading document to the eDOCS DM. That's because in DM10, the default save method for Microsoft Word is background save. So I'll close out of here. Now after a specified amount of time, and this is configurable in the Settings tab, a check will be done, and this check will see if there's any edits to these documents that you're monitoring inside of DM. If it does find that this document has been edited in DM, you'll get a notification. There'll be a notification bubble that pops up. The view will actually change to indicate that there's a newer version in DM, and then if you have email settings configured, you'll receive an email indicating that this document could not in fact be synced into DM because there's pending changes. So here we see, actually you'll see on this is actually good. I'm glad this happened. So you'll see that we have an alert and it says unable to connect to eDOCS DM. So this image right here is having connection problems with my DM server. So when that occurs, you saw that the red light indicator actually came on, and then it immediately came back on after my connection was reestablished. So whenever Sync can't contact the DM server, it will give you that indicator, and then it's not able to proceed with checking if there's any edits in DM. So we have to wait another 2 minutes for that to occur. Again, that's configurable. So let's do this again. Edits in DM. We'll save that. And we'll close out here. So what I just did, actually you see all that occurring, what we discussed, what I just did is I edited the second document, but while I was editing that second document, another check occurred, and we see that we actually got an indicator that says that we have a newer version in DM. So this newer version was by myself. Actually, I'm not John Shirley, but this is my user that I'm logged in as, and then you saw that we've got an email. So let's look at the email. Why don't we? So here's the email that gets generated. This you can change in the Settings tab, and then it says some of your monitored documents have been edited in DM. These documents are, and then it gives the document, gives the document number, it gives the edit date. So that is how you would monitor any files, or get actually notifications of any monitored files that are edited outside of DM. So now let's go in and we'll expand this, and let's go to our PowerPoint so I don't get off track. So that's status messages. Let's go over our action menus. So as you saw previously, you can click open and open this document here. And we'll say test for video. We'll click save. Refresh. Now, I open this document locally. I edited the document and I saved and closed, but it could not synchronize to DM because there was a pending change, not a pending change, there was a committed change in DM by John Shirley. So it can't overwrite those changes because of the current settings I have in settings. This is configurable, and I'll show you how that's done. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. So we'll come back to this. Force override of DM version. So what does force override of DM version do? It, by default, is set to no. If you set this to yes, and you come here, and let's try that test again. We'll open this document, and we'll say test for video again, just for a change. Now we've saved this document. We can close out, refresh. Now what just happened? Well, since that setting was set to yes, what happens is if you have a newer version in DM, this local version is treated as the master version and it overwrites that version. So your local copy is the master, in fact. I prefer to have this set to no because I prefer to have the version in DM as the master version. So I'll turn that back to no. So that's open. Now DM open, if you have a change over here, let's say you have a status that says, hey, this version is newer, and you want to see what that change is without going into DM, you can click DM open here, and it will in fact open that document. Then you can click the open button over here, and it will open the local copy, and you can make sure that those changes are correct, and see which edits you want to keep. So that's DM open. DM save. Okay, let's change this back to, actually, we'll leave that the way it is. So DM save. DM save means that you want to actually save changes to the file in DM regardless of this setting here. So let's do that. So we have a DM version newer by John Shirley. Normally, if I go in and open this document here, my changes will not be uploaded because we have pending changes in DM. But if I click here and I click DM save, I'll get a notification that says saving this document will overwrite the newer version in eDOCS DM. Is this what you want to do? We'll say yes. At this point you get an uploading dialog, or not dialog, but uploading status, and then your changes are synchronized. Let's open this document. Testing now. Let's open it in DM. And we have testing now. DM save as. If we had the same issue, let's do it. Let's open this one. and we'll say testing NDM. Let's save here. Alright, we'll open our local copy. We'll try to make edits. Testing local copy. We'll save here. We'll refresh. You can see I couldn't save because obviously there's a different edit in DM. So now if I want to force a save but I don't want to overwrite the version in DM, I can save this as a new version in DM. So this does the uploading sync status, and you can see that it automatically saved as the next version. So this would be version 2. So let's go ahead and open. Oops. Let's see. There we go. So you can see that I actually have version 2. So let's check version 2. Testing local copy. Testing local copy. Now let's open the first version. Testing NDM, and you saw that this one was testing local copy. So that's save as. Get latest. So get latest does exactly what it says it does. It can get the latest revision or it can get the latest version. The difference between the two is get revision will get that same version that's being monitored. Get the latest version will get the absolute latest version in DM. So let's go ahead and let's demonstrate this. So let's open this, and we'll open version 2, and we're gonna save this as version 3. Alright, refresh. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and open this document and make an edit. That will trigger eDOCS DM sync to go in and do the test or do the check. Yes, I do. All right. Yes, save. All right, so now we can go in and let's see, click here, more, and if we get the latest revision, performing this action will overwrite your local monitored version. Is this what you want to do? Yes. So let's open this local version, testing local copy. Now let's go into DM. Let's open version 3. Version 3. You can see that I actually do not have the latest version. I've got the version that I'm working with now in my monitored folder. So this is testing local copy. Let's close this. Let's close this. We'll do another open, DM open. Let's open version 2. Testing local copy. So this is what's synchronized. So now if I want to instead get the latest version, I can click here and get the latest version. Yes. DM open, version 3, open, and there you have it. So now we have version 3 and version 3. Alright, that is get latest. Details. Details is just a simplified HTML view of the metadata. So you'll see folder, library, you can see the document number, the author, last edit ID, etc. If you want to see the actual profile of your documents or your folder, you can go into Explore, and just like I showed you in the last video, you can click Profile here. Again, I showed you before that you can change these values, and it will update any of those documents in that folder. All right. So again, you already know that you can open these documents directly from here, and or if you don't want to go through the DM Sync manager to work on your documents, you can go directly to the files. So we'll right click here and click Explore, and let's say I just want to close this. I don't want to go through DM Sync, I just want to work directly through Windows Explorer. I can come here, and this is the Taylor case, for example, and I just want to do another test for YouTube video. Alright, let's save this, close out. Alright, so this is our edit time here. Now let's just go look, and we can close out of here. We'll go look in the DM Sync, and you can see that the edit time is the same as what we saw in Windows Explorer. So those edits are being monitored, they're being synchronized in real time. Let's see. So that's details. This is the managed files view. It's a lot here, but it's meant to be easy, simplified, and make it to where you can work, and make it to where you can see and be aware of anything that's going on with that document as far as edits are concerned. I gotta stay with this PowerPoint presentation, or else I'll get off track and show you all kinds of cool stuff. Manage files view, okay, details view, settings view. Settings view, there is a lot to cover in settings view, so this video is going to end here, and the next video will go over settings view, including email notifications. We'll also go over the log view, and I'll show you some behind the scenes information of how your edits are being synchronized, how these files are being synchronized. We may have one more video after that, and that would be a troubleshooting video. What happens if you have custom forms and synchronization isn't occurring. I'll show you what to do there. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. It was a lot to cover, and we had a good time together. So I'll see you in part 3. Thank you, and have a great day.